Guten Tagen, everyone! This is MaxSmartable, also known by my own nickname, Freneza o Mal Concordo. It is a lovely cloudy day outside, because we're south of a river. Sorry, it's a lovely cloudy day here in South River, because we're south of a river. And saying the actual name of the town would be cheating. I don't want to get into any misery-style antics now, do we? One moment, I need to actually check something. Think. Where would this... What? No, that's a snapshot. Oh, never mind. I'll just have to try to figure out how to look at the time as... Or maybe I can drag this... minimize that. Not that much. Okay, that looks actually quite good. Looks like I've already used up 1 minute of time, though, with all this. So let's just get to it. This is a fanfiction reading done by me, MaxSmartable. It is chapter 17 in the fanfiction Pokemon Transformation Stories. I've chosen this because it is actually quite funny. So let's get started. Mismagius Mischief, author RI2. Disclaimer, all characters save one are owned by the Pokemon Company, or Game Freaks, or Nintendo, or Japan, or 4Kids, or whoever's in charge of that sort of thing. The other characters are all mine. And let's start the story! Garchomp! Hyper Beam! Cynthia commanded. Pikachu! Thunderbolt! Ash called out. Gyarados, use Hyper Beam too, Misty ordered. Supermono, use Mimic to copy Garchomp and also use Hyper Beam! That gorgeous Cynthia shows that it must be good! Rock dashed. Blaziken! Overheat, yelled May! Piplup! Bubble Beam! Cried Dawn. Garchomp! The shark-like dragon fired a powerful golden energy beam from her. Garchomp! Pikachu lit up with a blinding flash of electricity as he heard a lightning bolt separating Gyarados' roar and fired a beam just like Garchomp's from its mouth. The tree-like Sudowoodo flashed briefly, then fired a similar energy beam. Blaziken! The giant flaming chicken Blaziken expelled an incredible burst of flame from his feet. Ip-lop, lop, lop, lop. Lop? Lop? The adorable little penguin Piplup spat dozens of explosive bubbles at his target. Wahaha, haven't you learned by now that you can't beat us, twaps? Jesse taunted from the cockpit of Team Rocket's latest giant robot. What of it? You do your thing. I'd better get hazard pay for this, moaned Wobbuffet, wearing a football helmet and quite a lot of padding as he popped out of the robot's chest and grasped for an extendable metal claw, glowing blue as he summoned a mirror coat. A half-dozen attacks struck him and were repelled by the coat, deflected right back at the Pokemon and their trainers who had to scramble out of the way to keep from getting blown up by the power of their own special attack. The energy blast exploded all over the shrine, shaking and causing columns to collapse, walls to crumble, and parts of the ceiling caving up. May shrieked as a piece of rubble dropped down nearby, almost crushing her. Yikes! That was a close one! The defense is too powerful! How are you supposed to get through it? Max wailed. That's the point! You can't! James boasted. Our Super Nincada Robo is totally invincible! It had better be for what we paid for it, Mal commented. It certainly did seem as if Team Rocket's latest robot, which looked like a giant Nincada, was pretty much undefeatable thanks to low creative usage of Wobbuffet as a shield. By deploying the blue blob, the villains were free to use the Super Nincada Robo's drill claws to chip away at the stone clams holding the Twilight Stone, mysterious, cloudy, diamond-shaped purple jewel with what looked like an archaic Pokemon buried in its core in place. Within moments, the clams would be broken and the incompetent thieves would be able to liberate the Twilight Stone, unleashing untold destruction and chaos in the process. Perhaps I should back up a bit. You must certainly be wondering how our heroes had reunited with Misty, May, Max, and Cynthia, and wound up in an ancient shrine trying to stop Team Rocket from stealing an ancient and powerful relic. It all started earlier that day, when the trio of Ash, Brock, and Dawn had arrived at Solation Town while continuing their journey to become a Pokemon Master, Breeder, and Coordinator, respectively. They had been very surprised to run into a few of their old friends there. Ash and Brock's good friend and former travelling companion Misty, leader of the Cerulean City Gin, had been there supposedly because she was searching for Sinnoh region for a new water-type Pokemon to add to her team, but actually because she'd gotten fed up with her incompetent but S.E. sister's laziness and self-indulgence, so ran away again to teach them a lesson and also to rejoin Ash, whom she knew she belonged with. Not that she would ever tell them that, of course. May just happened to be in town, allegedly because she was collecting ribbons so she could compete in a grand festival, but also because she was lonely and depressed after utterly failing to win the contest in Johto by herself, so came looking for Ash so she could be with him and mooch off him and eat Brock's cooking and put off being independent for a while longer. And Max was there because his parents made him go, much to his annoyance. The beautiful, intelligent, talented, and all-around cool Cynthia, unsurprisingly, was the only person who was there for any reason other than to be with Ash, though Brock had hoped she was there to be with him. As the champion of Sinnoh and mythology buff, she had come to Stellation Town to investigate a legend about some of the nearby ruins. There was a shrine in the woods outside of town that had supposedly been constructed a millennia ago to protect the Twilight Stone, an artifact said to be the prism of an incredibly powerful and unimaginably evil Pokemon that had almost destroyed the world eons ago. Team Rocket, who had been naturally eavesdropping since they had no lives and nothing else to do with their time but stalk for twerps, had eavesdropped on Cynthia telling the gang of the legend of the stone, and naturally the idiot trio decided to steal the stone and use the Pokemon inside to further the goals of Team Rocket. The Rockets beat the good guys to the shrine in their Super Nincada rover and immediately began trying to break the stone out of the stone-cold grip of the eerie statue holding it. The heroes had caught up to them and tried to defeat the robot, but what Buff's defensive abilities had made it impossible to make even a scratch in the mecha's hull, and most of their Pokemon had been knocked out by the ricochet caused by the deflected attacks. Not even Cynthia's ludicrously powerful Pokemon team seemed to be able to do any damage. Although, to be fair, they weren't exactly in peak condition. They hadn't been treated in the Pokemon Center in over 2 weeks, and Cynthia hadn't had the chance to take them to the one in town before the Rockets started attacking the shrine. Also, they were rather tired from their activities over the last few days, such as annihilating several packs of thugs that attempted to violate their trainer's virtue. Putting out a forest fire, defeating the wicked Hunter J, sending a Team Galactic assassination team packing, stopping an avalanche from crushing a defenseless mountain village, putting a rampaging Groudon with a hangover back to sleep, saving an entire alternate dimension from being nullified, and faulting an alien invasion. After all that and only a little rest between adventures, it's understandable that I might have a little more difficulty than usual fighting enemies as easily beatable as Team Rocket, whether they were hiding behind Wobbuffet or not. However, just because Cynthia's Pokemon weren't in top condition didn't mean her brain wasn't as good as ever. Ash, Wobbuffet can only defect one time to attack at a time, normal or special. If we try hitting it with both at once, then we'll only be able to counter one of them and the other will put it out of commission! Overall isn't a word. No. Overall isn't a word. Wow, that's a great idea, Max enthused. Cynthia's as beautiful as she is brilliant, Brock cried, eyes turning into hearts, which were abruptly replaced by a look of pain as Krogan hit him in the back with a poison jab, paralyzing him. Ah, no, why? I wasn't hitting on her yet. Oh, and it seems we're almost run out of time, since normally you can only post videos about 10 minutes long on YouTube. That's what I've heard, so, yeah. Guten Tag. I'll just continue, though. Brock protested as the poisonous frog dragged him away, croaking it to itself and causing its orange cheeks to bulge and shrink. Wow. I have to learn that trick, muttered an impressed Misty. Could really come in handy. Doing what? Asked May. Oh, all sorts of things, Misty said, giving a sidelong look at Ash, who didn't notice. Everyone else sweat dropped. I think that's enough for now, so Good morning.